Double threat every time he takes the floor, but they need him to score. Only one 20-point game as a Wildcat. He's got to have 20 in this one if they're going to pull the upset.
Tipped around, and it's finally Brendan Hassan that comes away with it. And K-State in the white has the game's first possession. Cougars going with their black uniforms here on the road today in Manhattan. Their first visit to Manhattan, Kansas in just about 54 years. Jones, Max Jones flips it to the corner, an open three for Hassan. And that's a good sign for K-State early for Hassan to get an open look.
A great pass along the baseline. Hassan only 4 out of 17 from 3 in Big 12 play. Only took 2 3-point attempts the last time out. They have to find a way to get him off early. That was an elite shot from the corner.
Juan Roberts for Houston, nearing several key career marks that we'll document as we move on through the afternoon. But this first possession, Tugler. Not a good ball movement by Houston. Aggressive K-State defense, but they found Tugler. The starting 5 for Jerome Tang's team. Regular 5 for the Wildcats. Gassan had it blocked away by Tugler. And for Tugler, that's now 8 consecutive games with a block, and he gets that out of the way in the first minute and a half. Underneath, Tugler going for the slam is fouled by Hawkins. And JoJo Tugler is a shot blocking machine. And the shot block at one end. Hawkins picked up the foul, his first. And Tugler, a 55% free throw shooter at the line for the Cougars.
7'6" wingspan, blocks 1 shot per every 6 possessions when he's in the game. He is the Dennis Rodman of college basketball. He's outstanding at ball screen defense. He stays low, he uses that length, and he's one of the reasons that it's so difficult to run pick and roll action against the Cougars.
Missed both, tried to get his own miss. Tugler had an 8-block game against Alabama earlier this season. Hawkins swings it. Hassan, another 3 around and out. That time it was challenged by Sharp. Not quite the open look that he saw from the left corner. Milos Uzan floats it up from 12, way off the left side. Roberts kicks it back out. Now Sharp, a 3. He was off the left side. That's going to kick out of bounds. So Sharp, nearly a 50% three-point shooter off the mark with his first attempt, and it's been almost 54 years since they played here in Manhattan, and that would have been at old Ahern Fieldhouse, not here at Bramlage Coliseum, which opened up in 1986.
Coach Sampson told us that transition defense is critical against the Wildcats, especially in this building. They like to get out and run, and they want to play through Roberts. Get the ball inside, try to get the Wildcats in foul trouble. He's been a force his entire career. Look for them to feed the low post, and he's an outstanding passer. It's one of the reasons they get so many open looks from 3. You got to knock these down.
Hassan, an open look again from the left corner. Well, the first 6 points of the game for the Wildcats have all come from Brendan Hassan.
The Cougars do such a good job of loading up defensively. The weakness is on the skip pass to the other side. That's twice now early in this game that they've been able to get that look.
Roberts on Hawkins, turns, shoots with the left hand and left it short. Blind pass. Max Jones not able to finish, but got a good look down close. Uzan runs it ahead, sees a lane towards the bucket, circles around. Backed up by Cryer. LJ, 3. Got it, swish. And it doesn't take long for Houston to pick up their first 3 of the game.
Well, he's 6 of his last 15 from beyond the arc. He's 10 out of 23 in Big 12 play. So it's just not fair the way he can manipulate defenses, draw a crowd, and then step back and hit 3s. That's just how he's been playing all season long.
Cryer hit a couple of 3s the other night, and McDaniel answering for Kansas State. Doug McDaniel. And if they can get some points from McDaniel, it would be a big plus.
Well, they have to have some 3s out of him, especially in this game with the way Houston guards the paint. He's only 3 for his last 20 from downtown, so that is a welcome sign. He's a much better three-point shooter than that.
And just 22% on the year coming in. Before that made 3. 5 to shoot. Sharp, deep 3, got it. So Sharp, after missing his first, Emmanuel knocks down his second, and that was a tough shot from near the sideline.
Oh, you're exactly right. That is a bad shot for most shooters in the country, but he's been so good, it doesn't even matter about his fundamentals lately. Fadeaways, hand in his face, it's automatic.
Both teams off to a good start from beyond the arc. K-State's hit 3 of their first 4, and Houston 2 of their first 3.
The threes have been falling. That's the big story for Houston. The defense is elite, but so is the three-point shooting. 3rd in the country percentage-wise. Cryer with the step back, and that's not even fair. These guys are almost unbeatable when they're raining like this.
In a row. They've been battling a bug around the team. In fact, Cryer was feeling it in the game earlier this week in Houston, in the game against TCU. In fact, Kelvin Sampson was so ill he actually missed practice 2 days ago, and that doesn't happen very often, but he's been feeling better the last couple of days. So 3 missed there. Cryer still wound up with 10 points in that game, hit a couple of threes, and was battling a stomach bug. It was on Monday night, the big Monday game against TCU in Houston.
Well, they win so many games with their defense, but now that they're shooting the 3 at this clip, they can really blow teams out. So you've got to be at your best, and McDaniel puts both hands on Uzan. That's an automatic call for Kansas State. Coach Tang said, we have to have somebody step up and make plays offensively. They're only scoring 66 points per game in Big 12 play. Somebody's got to make some shots, and he said, obviously, against Houston, you have to rebound. You can't give them second chance opportunities.
That was foul number 2 on McDaniel. Foul number 1, I should say. Uzan spins, 12-footer, good. Houston takes their first lead of the game. Just over 5 minutes in. Back out front for C.J. Jones, who's checked in off the bench. C.J. leads in, big high rainbow, kicks off. Rebound for Juwan Roberts, who came in with 900 career rebounds, 997 career points, and Cryer will take it to the rim. He's just not a three-point shooter.
He does such a good job in transition of freezing the defender and then blowing right by him.
McDaniel being chased. There's Hawkins matched up with Roberts. Hawkins spots it, shoots a 3. It's well long.
See, Houston just continues to make Kansas State take low percentage shots.
7-0 run here for the Cougars. And they can't add to it on a Tugler 3 attempt. Tugler doesn't shoot a whole lot of those. That was just his 8th three-point attempt of the season. Hawkins missed the bunny. Cryer runs ahead. He has Uzan as well as Sharp on the right side, and Emmanuel's 3 kicks high in the air, and a rebound for C.J. Jones. Gasson got Gasson got knocked to the deck, and the Houston foul on a push.
Well, they're so good at rebounding the basketball and getting out of transition. There's the little hesitation, the freeze, and the kiss off the glass. He's playing as well as any point guard in the country, and he's built for this team and this program, and I love it when he gets downhill. Really a scary scouting report, right? When you're trying to prepare for Houston, you think about them all week long. I think the ultimate compliment I could give to their team is they make kids hate playing basketball for the day you play against them, right?
Yes.
Everybody's used to running your sets. They don't let you do that. Everybody's used to getting decent looks, padding your stats against something. You play against Houston, you just don't want anything to do with it, and you're glad when the game's over.
They definitely make teams uncomfortable. Somebody forgot all about Onyenso, who checks in the game. Ugonna Onyenso played 18 of the 20 minutes of the second half at Oklahoma State, basically in lieu of Hassan. And Onyinso, in those 18 minutes, wound up with 7 points. So he sees some early time here. And that's going to fall for Roberts. Points 998 and 999 in his career, so leaves him just one shy of 1,000. Roberts, though, with his 150th game today for Houston, and that sets a school record. He was tied with Fabian White Jr. 149 coming in. 3 off the heel for McDaniel. Roberts was collecting the rebound, got knocked away by Max Jones, but Max picks up the foul.
Well, it's nice to see the big fella contributing. He's got the physicality and the length. You don't see Houston break down defensively like that. I love the shot fake. Not only does it give a defender a chance to jump and try to block the shot, but it lets you set your feet so you can go up strong. So you're right, he's a story in the making here. He's had a good career, but he's big enough and tough enough to battle in a game like this.
Onyinso did not play in the first 2 Big 12 games against Cincinnati or at TCU, but 18 minutes all in the second half at Oklahoma State on Tuesday. It was 3 of 3 from the field. Turning with the left hand, and that's Francis. Javier Francis off the bench for the Cougars, his first bucket.
You just have to get a body on every Cougar. They come to the boards. They are relentless. Coach Sampson told us, hey, our offensive rebounding can improve because we have to have 6 hands around the rim when those shots go up.
Jones' pass knocked away, and those active hands for the Cougar defense, and that's going to take us to a timeout as we get to the under 12, and number 12 Houston out to a 5-point lead. Well, back in Manhattan, the K-State Wildcats have dropped 2 in a row, 6 of their last 7, and nothing more that Jerome Tanksting would love is a win here against a top 15 team. David Gasson, 13 points, 66% from the field, leading the Big 12 in that department. All right, now we got to talk about rebounding because Houston's out rebounded K-State 10-4. A couple of those rebounds for Houston have been offensive, and you got Joanne Roberts, who's their rebounding leader, averaging a 7 a game, already has 4.
It's just impossible to block these guys out. I mean, you can put your body on them. They displace you. This is what they do. It's what they practice. And for Kansas State, they have to make shots. That's been the big story in Big 12 play. Only 66 points per game. It usually doesn't get it done.
Shot clock is at 2 at 1, and they didn't realize that it was a short clock, so to speak, coming out of the timeout, and a shot clock violation for Kansas State. And that's the first turnover of the game on either side, is the shot clock violation against the Wildcats. 3, Sharp left side, got it. That's his 2nd of the game. And 6 for Emmanuel Sharp.
Well, if you're Max Jones, you have to know the scouting report. You cannot go dig on Roberts. Coleman Hawkins has him one-on-one. You can't leave the best 3-point shooter in the country without paying the price for it. Just a big mistake early in this game.
K-State's hit 3 of 7 from beyond the arc, but inside the arc, they've hit only 1 of 5 2-point shots. Now make it 1 of 6.
Another tough mid-range jumper. Give credit to Houston. That's what they force.
Malik Wilson in the game. His jumper kicks off. Offensive rebound and putback is good for Francis. And a 16-2 run for Houston over the last 5 minutes. And Jerome Tang is going to use his first timeout.
Well, it's hard enough to guard Houston with the way they are shooting the ball, their pick and roll offense, the way they share the basketball. But if you're going to give them 2 opportunities, it's going to be a long night. You have to throw a body on them, sit on that thigh, try to get it done. And if you take tough mid-range jumpers, you're going to be running down and playing defense all night. Good timeout by Kansas State. Coach Tang told us at practice today, he said, we have not handled runs very well. He goes, I have got to be quick with my timeouts in this game so things don't get out of control.
Now, last game for Kansas State and Oklahoma State. The end of the first half really got away from them. The last 5 minutes, Coleman Hawkins was in foul trouble, and it was a disaster to end that half, and really was the determining factor in that game in Stillwater, which K-State dropped by a final of 79-66. Prior to that, lost by a point at TCU after winning their Big 12 opener here in Manhattan against Cincinnati back on December 30th.
Well, Brennan Hassan has hit 2 threes in this game, so let's see if Kansas State can empty out the opposite side, at least let the post touch it, and then a skip pass to the opposite corner to give number 11 a clean look at it. That's been their best offense.
Wildcats trying to end what is also a 9-0 run here for the Cougars. Hassan, catch and shoot. That's a long three. Well, he swishes it, and that's 3 threes for Hassan.
Well, that's just great coaching. He's the one who's been on. You try to get your best shooters to basketball. Tough shot.
Wilson scores. Malik Wilson came in 10 points shy of 1,000 in his career, which extends through a couple of different schools. He gets his first basket.
Oh, he had a great game against TCU, didn't he? 9 points and 5 boards in only 17 minutes.
And C.J. Jones missed 3. And Terrence Arsenault, number 23 in black, in the game for the Cougars. We've played half of this first half in Manhattan. K-State got out to an early 4-point lead, but it's been pretty much all Cougars since. Shot clock at 8. Wilson around and out. But the cleanup by Francis. And he has 6 off the bench.
Francis is going to the rim every single time untouched. He's going to have 20 offensive rebounds in this game if he keeps this up.
And now he gets a steal. Here's Roberts, 1 point shy of 1,000 in his career. On a back down, Coleman Hawkins. Looking, bounces it for Arsenault. Terrence floater from the baseline. Rebound falls into the hands of C.J. Jones.
Yeah, critical possession right here. Have to get a score on this one.
And Jones, C.J. Jones, right to the rim to lay it in for K-State.
That's a great move by C.J. He didn't settle on that possession. He got out and ran, was not going to be denied. At least try to pick up a foul. That is wide open for the best 3-point shooter in all the land. You've got to be kidding me. How does he get that wide open?
So Sharp now at 9 points. He's hit 3 of his 5 3-point attempts. A Hawkins 3. He answers for K-State. First bucket for Coleman Hawkins. And you see the 3-point shooting has been terrific for both teams.
Coleman Hawkins, 2 of his last 8 from 3, and that's what he's known for. He's such a great passer, but when he's got that open look, he can knock in threes. And Sharp, look, we talked about him, 50% from the 3-point line. That's just going to continue to go up when he gets looks like this. You cannot help off number 21 in a zone. He hasn't been that wide open the entire season. That's just a layup for him.
Yeah, I asked him about his 3-point shooting last night at Houston's practice that they had here at Bramlage Coliseum, and he said he's done some fundamental things, but for the most part, not a whole lot different. But he has definitely upped up his 3-point shooting percentage this year. 3, corner. He hit a couple from that corner, Hassan, but they get an offensive rebound. McDaniel, deep 3, way off the left side. Here's Arsenault. Pushes Hawkins. Picked up the dribble. Handoff. Ball fake. Wilson. Malik turns, shoots, and scores.
Well, Coleman Hawkins in no man's land right there. He is so good defensively. He did a nice job with the initial stop, and then he switches, but just another difficult shot. That's pretty good defense, but great offense.
Hassan, tough 3. Rebound for Emmanuel Sharp. 11-point lead in the ball for the Cougars as Hassan's able to deflect that out of bounds. And we come to a timeout. Offensive rebounding's been important for Houston already.
You're not kidding. Francis has been living around the rim. If you're not going to block him out, he's going to have his own personal record here today. Houston has 4 offensive rebounds already in this game, and Javier Francis has 3 of those offensive rebounds. He's been relentless at coming to the rim. Not only that, he's snatching them but putting them back in. 6 second chance points off of those 3 boards. If you're Kansas State, He cannot come to the rim without getting a shot in the chest or somebody sitting on his thigh. He's just so comfortable right now attacking the glass.
Yeah, and a continuation really from Monday night for Francis. He played 16 minutes, came off the bench, and he had 5 rebounds in the game. 4 were offensive rebounds. 4 of the 5. Well, he is a monster on that offensive glass. Arsenault looks for Cryer. LJ from just inside the lane, just inside the free throw line. Another offensive rebound here. Keeps the possession alive for Houston. Cryer another opportunity, and this one he does not miss.
Well, it's one of the other things that makes him so dangerous. When the ball is not in his hands, Houston will run pin down screens for him to curl off of, and he had a good look the first time, and then that's the story of the game. These offensive rebounds starting to mount up. 8 second chance opportunities.
LJ Cryer has been a much better driver towards the rim in his time at Houston than he was at Baylor. He's really upped that part of his game. Houston gets another K-State turnover, their 3rd of the game, and down low, crashing to the floor. It was on Yenso and Tugler. Houston, by the way, 8 second chance points. K-State yet to have any second chance points.
The Cougars #1 in the country in scoring defense and #1 in the country in field goal percentage defense. And they are so good at smothering ball screens. They refuse to be screened, and they show their hands. They get their fingertips on so many balls, just like that last one, and then they get out and run. They put a lot of pressure on these guards.
True freshman David Castillo checks in for K-State. Tugler swishes the second free throw. And 4 points for JoJo. 34-19 lead for Houston. Still about 6.5 minutes to go first half.
I don't think you want to give up on the ball screen action. If you're Kansas State, you're getting that roll, and that tag man's coming over, and there are shooters in the corner. But you got to be very effective at it.
Daniel backs up, yep. Tried to split the 2, and it's a turnover. Number 4. Sharp going for the flush, but Max Jones able to catch up from behind, but does foul him. Going to send Sharp to the line.
Well, maybe you do want to give up on it. McDaniel tries to split the defense. There's another turnover. Great hands. There's the run out. Got to find a way to turn the corner against this Houston defense. That being said, nobody's been able to do it all season long.
The second foul on Max Jones. So Hassan's going to come in for Max. Another free throw coming here for Sharp, who's already into double digits with 10 points. Averages 14 a game. Well, you look at the numbers for Sharp. He's actually got a better 3-point shooting percentage than 2-point shooting percentage. But shoots over 90% from the line as well. He's got a chance to be one of those rare guys that can shoot 50% from the field, 40% or better 3-point shooting, and 90% or better from the line.
He's got a strong chance, and the big guys he plays with are so unselfish to be able to kick it out.
Daniels' 3 just a hair long. Tugler hit the dirt, hit the deck there. And Darren George, our lead official, stops play because behind the play, Cryer is slow getting up. I didn't even notice him, but he was back behind the K-State cheerleaders, well behind the baseline. Yeah, you don't even see him in the picture there. I mean, Tugler tumbles, but that's not what Darren George stopped play for. Something had happened prior to that that caused LJ to get pushed well off the floor. Cryer's gone to the Houston bench. Wilson going to get it back from Tugler. Malik reverses and scores.
That's just all Tugler. With the excellent pass, these guys know, these guards know when they give it to their bigs, they're going to get it back in a good position to score.
So that's 6 for Malik Wilson. So he's 4 points shy of 1,000. And you have Juwan Roberts, who has 2 points so far in this game. He's 1 point shy of 1,000 career points. Who's going to get to 1,000 first today? We'll see.
That's what's so unique about Houston. They've been able to keep their guys over the years, maintain their roster. These kids love playing and wearing that uniform for the Cougars.
See the turnovers. Just one side. 5 turnovers on the K-State side. None so far for Houston. That was a 3-point attempt from Wilson, and it's out to K-State. So Max Jones is going to check back in with 2 fouls. He wasn't on the bench for long after picking up number 2. And now K-State going to cut into what's turned into a big deficit here. With still 4.5 minutes to go in the first half. 19 points. Daniel drives in the lane with the left hand. Houston is not giving K-State really any second chance opportunities.
Well, it's incredible when you watch Uzan on that play. He gets switched on to Coleman Hawkins, and that's what Kansas State wants. But Uzan just rides him out, stays with him the entire time, takes him out of the play, makes it a 4-on-4 game, and that's what the guards for Houston are able to do. Switch onto bigger, stronger guys and fight them for every square inch of the court.
Speaking of Coleman Hawkins, he just picked up his 2nd foul, so there have been a few games where foul trouble for Hawkins has taken him out, and it's going to take him out here, and we'll see if he comes back at all here in this first half. Already a big enough hole for K-State. May have to finish this half. Hawkins on the bench with 2 personals. Sharp trying to weave through traffic. Waits, backs up, shoots and scores. 13 first half points now for Emmanuel Sharp, who averages 14 a game. And timeout. 3:53 to go. Home Tang and K-State looking for some answers. Now 40-19 with under 4 to play in the first half. Houston has their largest lead of the game at 21 points, and Milos Uzan played his first 2 years at OU, now in his first year at Houston, and he has certainly adopted the defensive posture of the Cougars.
Now keep your eye on number 7. He gets the switch on to Coleman Hawkins. This is an advantage for the Wildcats. Uzan will not let him get the basketball. Now it's a 4-on-4 game. Keep your eye on him still. Left side, a little dig, stays home, forces a brutal shot attempt, and now Houston's going the other way. That is Final Four defense when your guards will fight bigs like that on every possession. That gets everybody who loves defense excited. Number 7, one of the best in the business at that action.
And Uzan 6'4", 190 pounds. Hawkins 6'10", 230, and you saw Coleman on the bench. He's been there since about the 4:15 mark with 2 fouls. Max Jones dribbles into the lane, almost had it tied up. 3 from the right corner, swished by Hassan, who hit a couple from the left corner earlier, and he has a dozen points.
Great job coming out of the timeout, getting your best shooter open, moving the ball side to side, looking for three-point shooters. David Gasson, no baskets in this game. They got to find a way to get him some touches.
Yeah, he's been their leading scorer, averaging about 13 a game, and their leading rebounder at 8 a game. And loose ball, Pryor able to get it back. Shot clock is at 5. Fadeaway off the glass as Emmanuel Sharp continues to display a lot of different nuances to his game on the floor.
Well, Kansas State in drop coverage on that pick and roll defense, but they force a tough 2. That's what you want to do. Speaking of number, holy smoke, what a rejection.
It looked like Hassan was going to have an uncontested flush, and then Tugler came flying in. Here's Tugler at the other end and says, this is how it's done.
What a turn of events.
Wow.
A point-blank dunk at one end, blocked. You go down to the other end and just flush it right back at him.
Same guy doing both things. Well, it's a 22-point lead for Houston with just over 2 minutes to play in the half. Jones trapped. 5 to shoot. Gasson's going to have to make something happen. Going to back down Roberts, fade away from 12. And there's Tugler to clean it up. Here comes Uzan. Kind of ran into his own teammate Roberts, so backs it up. Gets it back from Tugler. Tugler got knocked down. He's slow getting up behind the play here. From the baseline, didn't get to the rim. And when Yinso feet ahead, here comes Jones, 3. Finally get it to the hands of Uzan. He'll reset it up here. Houston does not have a turnover here in the first half. We're down to about the last minute. And Uzan from 3.
Well, he gets better every time I see him. 10th in the country in assist to turnover ratio. You come on the road into a hostile environment in this league and you don't turn the ball over like these guys are. Almost a perfect half for the Cougars, doing everything right.
3-point shot for Uzan. Nonetheless, it's opened up a 46-22 lead. K-State trying to find some kind of crease in this Cougar defense. Screen set by Yinso, but there's a trap, and Yinso gets it down low, and Max Jones able to lay it in right as the shot clock was expiring. First bucket for Max, and a timeout Cougars. They're use it or lose it with 20 seconds to go. Well, what a sequence for JoJo Tugler, where he gets a block on one end and the flush at the other end, a block of a dunk attempt.
Absolutely. This is the sequence so far of the year in conference play. That's all ball. Great officiating. And then he runs to the other end and slams it home. Lets them know about it. We talked about him being that elite defensive player, shot blocker, rebounder, the Dennis Rodman of college basketball. And that is a highlight for his career and a microcosm of what's been going on in this first half.
Yeah, JoJo Tugler made the Big 12 all-freshman team last year as a redshirt freshman, played 28 games and had the right foot injury in late February that ended his season, had surgery. Back healthy. And for a team that really only lost one starter, that was a big one. That was Jamal Shedd, Big 12 Player of the Year, unanimous first teamer in the conference. Kelvin Sampson certainly still has the roster. A roster that could not only win the Big 12, but a national championship.
Oh, no question about it. I mean, they are that good. That's what they expect. They're built for that. Again, held their last 7 opponents to 55 points or less. Nobody can score against this team. And the way they're shooting the ball and passing the ball, they can hang 50 points and a half, no problem as well.
Cougars holding it here for the final shot. Uzan Putting it up, Francis. And that's going to take us to the end of the first half. What a half. Where does K-State to make any kind of climb back begin with?
Well, Hassan is the guy who's been making shots, so you have to find him early in this game. When that defense is set for Houston, you got to move the ball side to side, get them going with the swing so everybody can touch it. You can't attack their defense early. Obviously, you got to get out and find more than 2 fast break points. That's all they had in the first half. You got to get ahead of their defense. That's the only way you can really get easy looks.
Here's Roberts, goes up with the left hand, and it rims out. He's at 999 career points. Started today 3 shy of 1,000. Now he's 1 shy. McDaniel flips it up off the glass. Gasson crashing in. McDaniel trying to save it, but could not. Houston ball.
Yeah, we talked about everybody touching the basketball, swinging it side to side. McDaniel comes down and goes up soft, and that's what Coach Tang's telling him. If you're going to attack, you got to go up with physicality. That's not what you want on your first possession of the second half.
Yeah, the shot attempt, I don't even think made it to the rim.
No, and let everybody touch it. Make this Houston defense work.
Daniel chasing Uzan. Spin move, left hand Francis, in and out. Hassan, long 3. Tipped out by Gasson, but it's Sharp that winds up with the Houston rebound. Long outlet. Cryer looked underneath, but instead goes down for Roberts. Missed the shot, got his own miss. 3 by Cryer. Francis keeping it alive. The offensive rebounds continue to mount for the Cougars. Puts it up off the right side, going after another offensive rebound. And we get a whistle, and that's going to go against Houston. So Francis picks up the personal. Number 2 on Javier. Yeah, the first minute and a half of the second half is about the only thing Kelvin Sampson can complain about so far today.
Right, there's just a lid on the basket, but let's see if Kansas State can get into their set, let a few guys touch it, and come up with a decent look.
Jones. But even the 3-point attempts for K-State are 5 or 6 feet behind the 3-point line.
Yeah, low percentage shots, but nice follow through, excellent rotation. They need to hit some threes to climb back in it, but at this end, they have to get some stops. So far, so good. 3 minutes in.
Roberts gives it up. Francis goes and reverses and scores.
How good has he been in this game?
Tremendous.
My goodness, he's fantastic this afternoon.
You know, he started 6 of the first 7 games of the season. He has come off the bench since. Well, what a player to have coming off your bench. Gasson left open for a moment. Francis kind of gave a look to Roberts like who was supposed to be there. First bucket of the game for him. Gasson after going without a basket in the first half. Juwan Roberts still 1 point shy of 1,000 in his career. Can he get it here? Can't quite get his own miss as Max Jones beat him to it. Jones bumps into Cryer. Help defense from Francis. And K-State's going to go to the foul line for the first time today with a chance for a 3-point play.
Well, that's when you want to attack Houston. A couple guys fall down. You have numbers on the fast break. You're able to get 2 feet into the paint. And here he comes right into your living room. Now that's the physicality, and what a tremendous job switching it over to his right hand right at the last second after he takes the hit. Now that's the type of toughness they have to play with at the rim. And you got to finish it at the free throw line.
Cougar foul was on Francis. That's his 3rd. He comes out, so Terrence Arsenault will take his spot. Actually, Roberts comes out. Jones completes the 3-point play. So an 8-2 start for K-State to begin the second half. They've cut what was a 22-point lead out of 16. Giving the crowd a little bit of life, but Uzan quietly quiets them quickly. And he has 6. Jones with a spin move. Dumping it down low on Yinso. Got it knocked out of his hands. Gets it back and scores. Second field goal of the game. Ugana Onyenso, transfer from Kentucky. K-State's hit their last 4 from the field. Weaving from the foul line. Kicks off. Offensive rebound, Tugler. Quick pass, Cryer. Austin got a hand on it, right back to LJ. Wide open 3, Arsenault. I'll tell you what, you give Houston an open look, it doesn't matter who's got it, they hit it.
Their second chance opportunities in this game have just been devastating. Kansas State playing pretty good defense in this first 5 minutes, but we've said it 3 or 4 times. If you give them another look, they're really going to make you pay for that.
Onyenso. His first bucket of the second half. Decent start here for the Wildcats in half 2.
Absolutely. Playing with the more physicality and toughness. They get shoved around, but he goes up strong. He's going to have to play more minutes this second half. An assist to turnover ratio, so he's filling in perfectly. He understands his head coach. He's a great rebounder. 17 defensive rebounds in the last 5 games. So we talked to Coach today about rebounding, how his bigs will put a body on him, but on defenders, and then those guards will come crashing in. So he's been the perfect fit.
Max Jones in a crowd, passes out, deflected by Sharp into the stands. 11 on the shot clock for K-State. And back into the hands of Max Jones. There's the trap. Down to 4. Down to 3 on the shot clock. A spin and a shot on the baseline did not hit the rim. And just as Uzan was picking it up, the shot clock expired, and that's the 6th turnover for K-State.
Just an incredible trap on the low block. He could not skip it to the opposite side where the open shot was, because we talked about it all game. Houston shows their hands. They make it impossible to throw through them.
Tugler flips it to the corner for Arsenault. Three from Cryer. Tugler almost got that to go, crashing the boards. They're going to call a foul on Yinso for a push.
Houston swarms to the basketball when you get it down along the baseline. Here comes the double. Look at the hands up. How do you get it through? There are shooters wide open on the opposite side. Look at the hands. That is textbook clinic defense. Give a ton of credit to Kellen Sampson, the defensive coordinator for Houston. There he is, right there on your left side of your screen. He was brilliant today in practice. Everything Kansas State was going to throw at him, he had covered. That's what they do so well. Take away that baseline action, and then you can't get it out of there. I don't know why he's not a head coach somewhere. I know he's turned down a few opportunities, but
well, I think he's kind of waiting. What's going on with Houston?
Around, huh?
Yeah, I think he's
got that in the contract. Huh? That's breaking inside information from you.
No, I know this Sampson family well enough that Houston is where their heart is right now. Jones flip. Gassan cannot get it to fall. Hit every bit of that rim and came out.
And just to hear footsteps against Houston.
It's almost like the Houston defense scares the ball out of the cylinder.
Right.
Uzan. Arsenault, trying to get past Max Jones, is able to get it to the rim and kiss it in. That's 5 for Terrence Arsenault off the bench. Now Arsenault gets a hand in the passing lane and knocks it away.
We have so many guys for Houston can win the one-on-one battle. Look, that's pretty good defense by Jones, but it's not good enough. They keep bringing guys in. There's a high percentage. Look, that one almost rolled off the front of the rim. The Cougars, so many guys who can win the battle of the bounce and get to the rim.
Second bucket of the day for Coleman Hawkins, who now has 5 points. Here's Arsenault defended by Hawkins. Crossover dribble, bangs into him, flips it up. Kicked off the heel and a Hawkins rebound. Now Coleman brings it into the front court. Dangerous pass, but Hassan able to get it back to Coleman. Hawkins trying to back down Arsenault. Here comes the help from Tugler. Splits the two, gives it to Hassan. Got Uzan in the air. It just missed the three. It's batted out right into the head and shoulders of Hawkins. And I think that rebound caught Hawkins more than he caught the rebound, but nonetheless, we get a foul on Houston.
Coleman Hawkins did a great job of baiting Houston into that extended double team, and then he stepped through it, kicked it over to the opposite side for an open three, and those are the ones you have to knock down. But he's darn good as a point forward of making the extra pass. Big number 33, and Coach Sampson talked about him today and said, of all the forwards we played against this year, number 33 is the best passer we'll face.
Gassan shooting over Roberts. And they're going to call a foul on Juwan Roberts. Juwan gets his first. Team foul number 5 here in the second half for the Cougars. You can help people affected by the California wildfires going on now in the Los Angeles area. You can donate at redcross.org/ESPN. Help the Red Cross respond and to help people recover. Of course, those fires ongoing in Southern California and LA. And our thoughts with those dealing with that tragedy. Uzan, a little low for Roberts. Ball gets loose. Uzan jumps on it. Gassan tying it up. And possession arrow is going to with the Kansas State.
Well, that's a situation there where you would like to see Uzan attack the rim. He's only attempted 2 free throws in his last 3 games. And if he can, and here he's going to come out and get a nice rest, but if he can figure out how to draw fouls and get to the free throw line 4 or 5 times a game, then they can win the entire thing. That's maybe the one step that's missing from his games. He's got to take that step and get to the line.
That was the first Houston turnover of the game, so it comes right about 27 minutes into the game. Jones feeds Coleman Hawkins. There's the double, there's the skip pass, and a 3 from CJ. Jones knocks it down. Well, that's another play that Kellen Sampson went over in the shoot-around today, but CJ Jones hit the shot.
Well, Coleman Hawkins is so tall. He's done a great job the last couple of possessions of drawing the double team, and he's the only guy on the team who can see over it to skip the pass to the opposite side.
Tugler. That's 9 for JoJo. Lead is 18 for Houston. They're led by 22 at the break. Max Jones, and Tugler commits the foul.
Well, the double team's coming, and Coleman Hawkins has the height and the vision and the skill to get it to the open player. There it is. There's the skip. That's where the weakness of the defense is, if there is a weakness. That's a decent closeout, but not quite good enough. Look for 33 to continue to post up on that extended post up, draw double teams, and try to find open shooters.
Max Jones at the line. K-State did not go to the free throw line in the first half. Second trip here in half number 2. We're kind of eavesdropping on Coach Sampson here. Talking about their defensive switches, etc.
A little bit of confusion. I'm not sure they're supposed to extend that far out with the double.
Malik Wilson uses the dribble, and enough of a hand check there by CJ Jones to pick up the foul, his second. Timeout on the floor. We're under 12 minutes to play in Manhattan, and it's a 17-point lead for 12th ranked Houston. Later tonight on ESPN, they would need a win to also stay pace with Iowa State at 4-0.
Iowa State and Houston have obviously separated themselves. We talked about that at lunch today. They are both elite Final Four caliber teams, and
Arizona's getting better.
They're closing.
They're definitely so. Here's Juwan Roberts, goes up and got it. There it is. Over 1,000 career points now for Juwan Roberts. He becomes the 52nd player in Houston school history to join the 1,000-point club. Roberts chalks that up. He's got about 94 rebounds to join the 1,000 club. He's not far from 1,000 rebounds. Gasson lays it in. It's been better offense from the Wildcats here in the second half, Jess.
Well, Houston makes the adjustment. That's what they were talking about before the timeout, that they're not going to double Coleman Hawkins. They're just going to dig on him, but they fell asleep on the backside, and Coleman Hawkins took advantage of it. He is one of the best passing forwards in all the land, and he's carving up Houston's defense on the last 3 or 4 possessions with the pass.
Kansas State has outscored Houston here in the second half, 19-14. Houston was called for only 4 fouls in the first half. They called for 7 here so far in the second half. That's a kick, and we'll take it out again. Roberts. Daniel keeping an eye on Cryer. The shot clock's at 6. LJ sprints into the lane, a floater off that front rim. Offensive rebound by Francis, who is fouled. Francis at 6'8", 235, coming off the bench for Houston.
Well, just Groundhog Day. Every time the shot goes up, number 5 comes flying in. He's been my most valuable player for this game. I mean, with all the firepower they have with their guards and their bigs, this guy has changed everything, coming off the bench, establishing himself around the rim, and just breaking the will of Kansas State early in this game. Some of their defensive sets have been good, but he just comes in and cleans up the mess, and that breaks your will as a defense.
Gasson will take a seat. Francis missed the second one as well. It's going to go out to K-State. 8 points, 7 boards. The Javier Francis today, 5 of those are offensive rebounds. Coming up on the midway point of the second half. Roberts. Hawkins fires a fastball off of Onyenso, and that turnover is the 7th for Kansas State. Goes Roberts. Juwan. Off that front rim, Onyenso a rebound. Hawkins will fire it to Hassan. He's going to launch the 3. Got it.
Great job using the ball fake, taking the defender and getting him off his feet, and then using the dribble to knock it in. A little momentum right here. Coach Tang trying to motivate his guys.
I fell in love in basketball when I was a little boy, following my father around high schools in rural North Carolina, southeast North Carolina. Everything was comfortable to me. Tuesday nights, the smell of peanuts and popcorn, cups of Coke with no ice, riding in the back of a station wagon on Saturday mornings, him stopping at the gas station afterwards to get me a Baby Ruth bar and a RC Cola. Didn't get any better than that. That's when I fell in love.
Season 11 now for Kelvin Sampson as the head coach of Houston, and he is the reigning Big 12 Coach of the Year.
He's the best in the business, and he's got a great thing going here. in hot pursuit of a national championship. But I want to know, Mark, did anybody in your family have a station wagon back in the day?
Did not, which is unusual. Some other family members did, but not my immediate family. That's not the wood-paneled station wagons or anything like that. Hassan has attempted 11 shots, all threes, made 5. What was a 22-point lead at the half, down to 14 for K-State, who have outscored Houston here in the second half, 22-14. If K-State can get this down to single digits in the next 3 or 4 minutes, things can get real interesting in a hurry.
No question. A couple big possessions here for Kansas State. They've got to get stops, but plenty of time, 10 minutes to go, and there's one right there.
They could not come up with it looked like a gift, steal, or takeaway. It's been that kind of day for K-State, who have hit 8 of their last 11 shots from the field to get closer in this game. Max Jones comes in for C.J. Jones. Houston able to keep possession. Shot clock's at 13. Pryor from the right elbow. K-State foul. That's the second foul on Doug McDaniel.
I thought originally that he got underneath the shooter. Ooh, that is a tough call. Just look at it from this angle. That one could have gone either way.
As physical as the play is, especially when you're involving Houston, a lot of times that's one that doesn't get called.
Right.
Nine points for Pryor. 9.5 minutes to go in Manhattan. And the Wildcats continue to cut this deficit. Hawkins throws nowhere as Hassan had cut from the corner to the wing, and that's the 8th K-State turnover. So they had an opportunity to get a turnover at one end and now turn it over at the other on the next possession. Roberts, one on Yinso. Joanne Roberts, who has 6. 1,003 career points now for Joanne Roberts. McDaniel baseline. One and done for K-State. Tugler hands off. McDaniel hit the deck, and that's a moving screen and a foul call on JoJo Tugler. Third on Tugler. And that's team foul number 7 against the Cougars. They were only hit with 4 team fouls in the first half, and you got K-State now in the bonus going forward.
Well, K-State's defense has been a lot tougher in the second half. Their initial defense has been good. It's the offensive rebounds and not coming up with those 50-50 balls that have hurt them. But this is a monster possession. They've got to get a good look on this one.
They do indeed. Hawkins lays it in. Kelvin Sampson not happy right now with his defense. Back down to a 14-point deficit. Cryer. There's Tugler aggressively through a crowd to flush home the rebound.
The inability to block out and keep the Cougars off the glass has been the biggest story in this game. Again, pretty decent defense, but you can't come up with a loose ball or block out, and it's really starting to mount up mentally, physically, and on the scoreboard.
Tugler has 11 points, and that's a travel on Hawkins. And we're at the under 8. That's 9 K-State turnovers. Hawkins trying to plead his case.
Oh, what did Coach Tang tell us at practice? We got to make plays offensively, and then we've got to block out when we get those stops. That's been the story. Look at that. Doesn't get any better for number 11.
Tang really having to do some coaching during the game as players come off the floor. He even has to use his assistant Uric Malagi to help him demonstrate during a timeout. He's had a couple of animated conversations, one-sided conversations with a few of his players, including Coleman Hawkins here in this second half.
Well, they've lost 5 out of their last 6 games, so a lot of pressure coming into this game. And it wasn't too long ago where they were a possession away from a Final Four, and then with the NIL and the transfer portal and all of those things you have to manage, things have not been going as well this year. But that's what he was like at practice today, just heavily involved, hands-on, trying to get his guys to get in position against the post, and then if you're in position defensively on the post, you're set up to block out. That's what he's working on right there. They're getting out of position initially, and then the Cougars are just coming crashing in, and there's a foul right there. He got shoved.
Austin runs it out for K-State. Uzan gets some help from Tugler. A skip pass is stolen by Sharp. That's now double-digit turnovers for K-State, number 10.
Sharp is underrated defensively. He's extremely tough, but he does a nice job of swiping those skip passes and closing out on shooters on the opposite side.
Uzan floater, teardrop drops in. And the lead, which K-State had cut to 14, back up to 20, and that's 8 for Milos. And now 12 points off turnovers for Houston today. Slipping, losing the handle of it. It was Moby Ike Garuke who had checked in for the first time today. X Jones just picked up his 3rd foul, and now Kelvin doing a little coaching there with Tugler. Gassan's going to check back in for Kansas State along with CJ Jones as Austin will get a rest. Gassan today, 5 points. Came in as their leading scorer, averaging 13 a game. Roberts trying to get by Hawkins, spinning, shooting, and scoring. That's 8 now for Roberts. Again, has gone over 1,000 career points in this game and also has become the all-time leader in games played for Houston. And now he gets a steal. Just swiped it right away from Hawkins, and that's a dozen. Roberts. 3 missed by Sharp, kicked out by Roberts into the arms of Cryer. Houston's opened it up back to a 22-point lead, which is the lead they had at halftime. Roberts waits, shoots with the left hand, and he's got a 3-point opportunity. Well, he'd been sitting at 2 points and a point shy of 1,000 in the career for Jawan for a good part of this game, but suddenly he's finding the bottom of the net more frequently.
Well, he had the Elijah Wan move 2 plays ago. Then he comes back with the Kevin McHale, the and one. And oh, by the way, at the other end, he swipes Coleman Hawkins, comes up with the steal. Houston just breaks your will. Those offensive rebounds are devastating over the course of 40 minutes. They wear you down, foul you out. Like we said in the first half, they make you hate playing basketball for 40 minutes.
They're going to say that's Houston ball. Kansas State had turned it over on their last 3 possessions prior to that missed shot there that goes out of bounds, they say, off of K-State. Wildcat fans have not had a lot to cheer about today. K-State got out to a quick 4-point lead when the game began, but it's been pretty much Cougars since then. Uzan. Tugler spinning around. Hawkins missed the shot, but able to get his own miss and put it in. Yeah, we just got a technical foul called on Coleman Hawkins. Paul Sells, our three-man officiating crews, calling the tech on Hawkins. And that'll also be his fourth foul. So they put Cryer, who's a 96% free throw shooter, at the line to shoot the technicals, and Houston now has their biggest lead. Well, 5 minutes left in the game, and just K-State came out to start this second half with certainly some more energy. Had cut a deficit that was over 20 down to 14, but could not get it lower than that.
A couple loose balls that they needed to come up with to gain offensive possessions, and then the turnovers have really hurt them in the second half. And you have to play great to beat Houston. You can play great and lose to Houston, but you can't turn the ball over and not block out, and then 48 points typically doesn't get it done with 5 minutes to go in a Big 12 game.
Max Jones being aggressive to the rim, met there by Jawan Roberts, and Max is going to get a trip to the foul line to shoot two. Foul number 2 on Roberts. Hawkins on the bench now with 4 fouls after picking up the technical.
Coleman Hawkins extremely frustrated. Played at Illinois, 4 Big Ten championships, 4 trips to the NCAA tournament. You know, enters the portal. So many teams in the country pursued him. He is a triple-double threat. He's a pass-first guy. When he's playing with elite scorers like he did at Illinois, he makes everybody better. He can switch defensively, but here at Kansas State this year, no one's been able to step up and become a scorer and a playmaker when they need it the most, where he can set them up. So there's a ton of pressure on him to score. And we mentioned early in the game, he's only got 1 20-point game for Kansas State, and he had to have a huge game in this one for them to have an opportunity to win.
And that 20-point game came in the Big 12 opener here on December 30th against Cincinnati. He had a double-double, 20 points, 10 rebounds. Left side 3 goes in for Terrence Arsenault. Just so many pieces for Houston that all seem to fit well together. Arsenault has 8 off the bench. Trying to trap McDaniel and almost forced him into the backcourt. 3 by Max Jones. Got it.
Max Jones.
Jones with 13. Max Jones. Out of dribbling from Cryer. LJ now has to look to get rid of it. Low to Uzan. Ball almost gets loose. Milo's back to Cryer in the corner. Tugler skips it across to Arsenault. Shot clock's at 1, so he's got to put it up. That's not going to hit the rim, and that's a shot clock violation and the 3rd turnover for Houston.
Well, Tugler's been outstanding in this game. All the Cougars have been. Inside, outside. They've lived on the backboard. There's the collision to go.
Houston Cougars needing a win to stay undefeated in conference play and tie Iowa State at 4-0 for the conference lead, 79-52 in what is year 2 in the Big 12 for the Houston Cougars. Now a 16-team league after OU and Texas went to the SEC. This year you've added Arizona, Arizona State, Colorado back in the Big 12, and Utah. So quite a footprint for the conference, the Big 12. Kelvin Sampson's team again needing a win to match Iowa State as the Cyclones won in overtime in Lubbock. Arizona has a chance to go to 4-0 as they host UCF later tonight, but Kansas now 3-1. That opening loss to West Virginia, but they've won 3 straight since then.
We just love the guard play in this league, the speed of the game, the physicality. Such an exciting league to watch every night. Road games are brutal, especially when the students are around, but Houston has a chance to obviously win this conference and win a national title. The Iowa State guards of Lipsey, Jones, and Gilbert have been sensational as Arizona continues to adjust to the physicality of this league. They're going to be right in it, and Hunter Dickinson and Kansas are going to get better. Darren DeVries and West Virginia, the biggest surprise. They play against Houston next time out on the road, but they've got a nice front line, and DeVries has done an excellent job in his first year
Arsenault steals that skip pass, 13th K-State turnover, and it's points at the other end, and a three-point opportunity for Javier Francis. Francis got one right across the left eye.
Watch the catch with two hands, and then there's the pump fake. You get the big off the floor. That shot would have been blocked. They work hard on those pump fakes. You chin it, guy goes flying by, you go up, take the hit, and you finish strong. A well-coached, well-trained team, disciplined at both ends of the court.
Tang talking with C.J. Jones there, as Coach Tang's had to do a lot of coaching during the game today. Francis looking to complete the three-point play.
Well, we'll say it again. He's been my MVP today. The way he's rebounded the basketball, run the floor, guarded pick and rolls. He's not even sweating.
And now he has 11 points in his 11 minutes to go along with 7 rebounds. So very efficient. There are a lot of players you could pick out of Houston as a player of the game. But
he's only played 11 minutes?
Yeah.
Jeez. That's the best 11 minutes I've seen all year.
A number of things stick out in this game for K-State, but I think the numbers that really stick out is Houston's offensive rebounding, which they have 14 offensive boards, just 2 for K-State. And then second chance points. Houston has 18 of those. K-State has 1.
Yeah, and that's what Houston does. We talked to the coaching staff for Kansas State, and they're just still searching for points. I mean, that's been their biggest nemesis, especially in Big 12 play, only 66 points a game, and they're not going to reach that this afternoon, and they're going to have to find some way to generate more offense, and it's a lot easier said than done, especially in this league.
K-State does have 52 points. And Houston has held 7 straight opponents to 55 or fewer points, which is a Big 12 record. K-State does have a chance to eclipse that mark. 2.5 minutes to go. There's another second chance opportunity, but it will end there with an Onyenso rebound. So I guess, Jess, if you put it in that perspective, that the 55 points scored by BYU when they were beat by 29 points by Houston on January 4th is the most points scored by an opponent in the last 7 games. In K-State, though it's been a frustration offensively and defensively, but offensively, they have 52 points, which against Houston is a pretty good total. It's kind of a weird juxtaposition here.
You're reaching, partner.
Yeah,
You're reaching.
I am. But you compare that to recent games for the Cougars, and it just goes to show you how dominating the defense of Houston is night in, night out.
Yeah, no question. I mean, that's the big story of it. Kansas State did get this game to 14 points with about 9.5 minutes to go, and there was a little momentum here in the gym. They were playing defense much better, but a couple turnovers, some loose balls they didn't come up with, and their margin for error is just so thin. And they've got to find a way to get Doug McDaniel involved. What is he, 1 for 8 or 9 from the floor in this game? 3 for his last 20 from 3 coming into this one. Just got to get more buckets from Doug.
Taj Manning had just checked in for the first time today for K-State. Obi Ike Garuke, who had a little bit of time earlier in the second half, number 4, he checks in as well. And how about this? You got Spencer Bain, number 5 in white, checks in for Kansas State as well. So Spencer getting to play in his 4th game of the season. Freshman David Castillo's come back in. He played in the first half. Loose ball on the deck, tied up. Cedric Lott, number 2 in black, has checked in for Houston, as has number 0, Cordelius Jefferson. So both staffs getting a chance to get even deeper onto the bench. This is Mercy Miller, who's in for the first time today. Mercy Miller, the true freshman from Sherman Oaks, California, who's now played in all 4 Big 12 games this year. Very highly ranked recruit, ESPN Top 100, whose time will come at some point. But a very highly thought of young player for Houston. Mercy knocks down the free throws. Makes this a 30-point game. Castillo trying to find Onyenso, but it's deflected and stolen. Malik Wilson blocked by Manning. The shot and the body in the foul. There's what is ahead. You alluded just to the upcoming game Wednesday against West Virginia. That'll be at the Fertitta Center. Then they go on the road down to Orlando, come home against Utah, then go to Lawrence before taking on the Mountaineers in Morgantown.
Well, they're going to be the #1 rated defense the entire season. There's no doubt about that. The guards are physical. Their big men know how to guard the pick and roll. It's really scary that they're third in the country in three-point shooting. So now you have to get out on them. And even when they miss, you're so extended now that they can fly in and tip dunk it on you. It's not just that they offensive rebound. It's that they get the kind that make you look bad. They put you on posters. They break your will. And they're 46% from beyond the arc in this game. And it hardly feels like the three-point shot has been a factor in this one, but it really has. It really messes up the scouting reports. This is why so many people obviously think they can win the whole thing.
Cordell Jefferson picked up the Houston foul. Here's what's ahead for Kansas State. They get Texas Tech here in Lubbock on Tuesday, then go down the road to Lawrence. Have to visit Waco before coming home to take on West Virginia and Oklahoma State towards the end of the month of January.
It's just a brutal schedule. I mean, it is for most teams.
Yeah.
And when you're not playing well, you look up at that. You got to take it one game at a time, obviously. Texas Tech with the tough last-second loss today against Iowa State. But Coach Ting was coming into this one 10-2 at home against top 25 teams. So he's always been able to get the crowd and his guys ready for these big games. But with the students gone, there hasn't been much energy in here today. They've got to recapture that. And these are the trials and tribulations that if you coach long enough, you're going to end up in these low times. And he'll keep his team positive. They'll keep the faith. But how can they get in the film room and come up with a way to generate buckets? Does he have to make some switches in the starting lineup? He might have to, because they're not getting points out of their guards.
Inside a minute to go. Three-point shot rims out for Mercy Miller. Ball knocked out of the hands of Castillo and a Houston foul. Second foul on Mercy. Putting Castillo back at the line to shoot two with just about 35.5 seconds to go. K-State's going to drop to 7-8 overall, 1-3 in conference play, and number 12 Houston go to 12-3, win their 8th in a row, and tie Iowa State for the conference lead at 4-0, with Arizona having that chance taking on UCF later tonight.
Well, this is one of those nights that if I'm a Wildcat, I'm coming back to the gym in a couple hours, right? I'm going to work on my game. This is not acceptable. You know, the coaches can only do so much. The players have to take responsibility, but they can be better than this. They're not making shots they need to make, and they got to play with more toughness.
If K-State can get off one more shot here. Castillo does so. It's short and into the arms of Mercy Miller, and he can run it out. 87-57. A 30-point win for number 12 Houston in their first trip to Manhattan, Kansas in over 50 years.
Well, if this is a 12th ranked team